Welcome everyone to a Q&A followed by an awakening transmission. My name is Peter D. I'm so happy that you're with me today. And just to let you know how this is going to work, I sit there and get out of the way. And then Spirit gives me nudges on what to say. I'm a channeler. I can speak to anyone that I can identify their frequency, a god, a saint, an angel, an ET. The beauty is that they don't speak in words. They give me energy squirts, and I have to understand it and make words come out. So it's going to look and sound like me talking, just so you know that. That's how this whole game is played on my end. Now, before we dive in with your questions, those of you who have questions, go ahead and hit the little icon at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand. So we'll be getting to questions in just a moment here. I want to tell you that in the last couple of weekends in March, and there I'll be teaching a intensive weekend, and Tracy and I both will be teaching that. It's really a beautiful class. So why drag your awakening out when you can do your ascension not entirely in a weekend, but make super big progress in a weekend? Um, you know, you can look at the links below. I'll include in the top pinned comment a video testimony from someone who was in the last class. So you'll know that good stuff is happening. So please check that out. It'll be Friday evening, March 22nd, then all day Saturday and Sunday, March 23rd and 24th. All righty. Having said that, let's get into questions. So go ahead and hit the pin button, or excuse me, the raise hand button. I don't see any up, and I wanted to avoid this. There's a beautiful question from Amy. So, Amy, I'm going to pin you here. Okay. And as soon as I do, you'll have your question. Shoot. How you doing, Amy? What can
I'm
I
doing
help?
good. I'm doing good. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Thank you.
Excellent. Um, as people ascend, will pretty much everyone have the ability to channel and or open access to spiritual beings? Is that pretty much go hand in hand with being ascended, that you're going to have that kind of access?
So, Spirit's telling me mostly yes. Okay. So we're ascension means you get into a higher density, right? And I don't mean higher, lower, like a linear thing, but there's less, the frequency is higher. It's like less dense. And because of that, there's more open communication. So naturally, you'll have these abilities, the ESP kind of things that have been suppressed because of the denser energy and because of those who are on the planet teaching us not to access those aspects of ourselves. So that's going to fade away. Now, everything's on a bell curve, okay? Everything's on a bell curve. So there's going to be a small percentage of the population that's still on the planet that isn't going to have that, because that's just the way things work. There's also going to be another small percentage of the population that's going to have these abilities and choose not to use them. But yes, we're pretty much going there. One of my friends was telling me the other day, and Spirit wants me to confirm this for you. He was telling me he was listening to Stephanus Di Matteo, and he was talking about channeling, and he said, "Oh, Peter, he was saying what you're doing. He's saying that we're all going to start being able to talk to everybody instead of the way it has been in the past, where you had a different connection, either you agreed to before you came in, you had the same resonance, and so you would channel one entity, and you'd be the entity for that channel." And that's how it's been until recently. But now, because the veils are lifting and we're moving up, it's going to be pretty much everybody channeling everybody who wants to. And so I just want to confirm that, because you got that information secondhand. Spirit says, yes, yes, tell people. And so it's a matter of identifying frequency. You know how in like old magic, they say, if they know your name, they can control you and all that stuff. It's not like that at all. But if you know their name or energy signature or frequency or even color pattern, depending upon how you approach it, then you can connect to that entity. And so that's going to be available to us. Uh, Anything else, Amy, that's up?
Nope, that's great. Thank you so much.
All right. You stay blessed. Thank you. And now I'm going to see that Steve, you go ahead and have raised your hand. So I'm going to unmute you now. Okay. Hang on. I think I hit the wrong person to unmute. There you go, Steve. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks, Peter. Quick question. When we were meditating the other day, you gave us a chant, Namaste,
Okay.
Akam.
Yeah.
What I'd like is I want to write it down. If you
Okay.
can spell it out.
All right. So the chant we used was hum sa so hum akam. Hum, H-U-M, and I have no idea how you spell sa, S-A. So hum, S-O-H-U-M, akam, E-K-A-M. Now, as far as I know, I'm not sure what the humsa means. The so hum,
Ekam.
yes, the so hum is the sound of creation. I've been told when I was at Oneness University, the monks say that the sound of creation is so hum. And it's like is what we say is kind of like the sound of the universe and stuff like that. So hum is like the birth, the creation of that. And then Akam is another word that is the name of the Oneness Temple, which is a conscious living entity. I'm going to see if I can't put a link below as well to pictures of it. It's a really cool temple if you want to check that out. And it's definitely a machine that was built to be on the planet to help us awaken. Now, the chant loosely translates into God is in me, God is in you, we are one, which is just a beautiful way to go at things, to recognize, hey, I'm looking at God when I look at you all, and you're looking at God when you're looking at me all, or when you look in the mirror, you're also looking at God, and we're one.
God
And
is in me. God is in you.
and we
We
are
are
one.
we are one.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right,
That's it.
Steve. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, so next, Mark. All right. If you could unmute yourself, and I gotta find you here so I could.
I think Karen was before me.
That's
If
okay. I've already got you halfway done. So Karen, I'm going to get to you. I've not forget about you, but here you are. You've been pinned now.
okay.
All right, Mark. What's your question today?
You can hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, I've been meditating a lot lately, and I'm getting a lot of sensation in my third eye. It's like spinning all the time. And it's spinning right now because I call it up at will now, but I'm not really sure what to do with that. And I'm also trying to heal myself through my meditations where I'm trying to go to the quantum level because I have a lot of DNA type of problems. So I want to try to fix my DNA. So I've been meditating on that and focusing on that a lot and doing a lot of I am affirmations, for
Okay.
instance.
So
So,
there's a lot of information I want to give you right now. So first of all,
okay.
change your language. All right. You just cursed yourself. You just said, I have DNA problems. You didn't say, hey, I'm aware that in the past I manifested DNA problems, but now I am healing.
Okay.
So the
Yes.
meditation mantra is I am that. Whatever you declare, whatever you focus on, you become. So you must become your healing. And don't become I am healing, because if you ask the universe for asking, it's going to give you asking. You declare, you command, I am healed, right? And you put your focus on that. And so the way you would do a meditation like that is uh, you see the outcome you want. Oh, look at my healthy body. See it in 3D. Feel it. Feel it. Oh, imagine it. Even if you're not feeling it in the moment, imagine or remember what it was like. Oh, look at my healthy body. Oh, that 3D. Oh, those DNA. They're really working. Really, really cool. And then you supply it with gratitude, which is the emotion that powers it. And so you sit
Right.
there and so you spend that time. So that's how the meditation could be more effective. Okay. When you do that.
Okay.
Now, you're getting super good progress with identifying your energy centers, your chakras, and that's really, really good. So, the point is to expand them. All right. Get them big so they fool you. So if you can feel one rotating, great. Play with it, do
Yeah.
it. Try to get them all into the same motion. Okay. And then they'll be
Okay.
more balanced and more powerful. Okay. Now, what do you do when you have that? Couple of things. I was taught that when you hit awakening, your Kundalini goes into orbit. All right. So you can feel it, your energy. If you can touch into your chakras, you can feel your energy in each of them and you can start to raise them up, right? You can feel it come up by just putting
Mm-hmm.
focus on it and send it up. So now, when you're awakened, it automatically goes into orbit. It's not something you do, it's just something that happens. Start going, and then you're always high. So you're not putting your consciousness
Right.
on keeping it raised, right? And you're not doing like we've done before awakening, where it was up and down like a yo-yo, you go into orbit. Now, I mistakenly thought that this was just a single circle of energy, when in fact it's a torus, it's a donut like
Right.
this, okay? And that then is your own personal energy field. Now, one of my teachers, the Ram at the Ramp, the School of Enlightenment, and I love the Ram because he would just say something cryptic and say, now go practice it so you know how to do it. And I had no idea what the hell he was even telling us to do, right? And so I said, make your bands spin in both directions. So what I've got then is,
Well,
yeah, what I got is, imagine a torus moving like this, okay,
yeah.
and another torus moving like that. And when you do
Ah,
that, then you become a lighter being that's easier to move your focus. So whatever you focus on, whether it's in time or space or place, you can do it. Now, I forget the name
okay.
of the movie, but Hugh Jackman was in it. And he was this dude who was chasing this woman that he was in love with across all these centuries and stuff. And he would just sit in his ball and go, and then go to these places and woo her.
Yeah.
And that's actually a pretty correct description of what you can do when you get yourself there. So, you know, this stuff will happen naturally as you raise your vibration and move your blockages. Like I always say, clear, clear,
Okay.
clear. It will just happen naturally. Or you can help propel it by putting your focus on, and you've already got the focus of, ooh, I've got my energy center here moving.
Yeah. One thing is it comes up from my temples as well. So I
Oh,
can feel it come up from my temple, and sometimes it'll swirl this way, and then sometimes it'll come up and swirl this way. So I don't know.
play with it. Play with it. This is it. You're mastering energy. You know, you thought you were a kid and you grew up and you were learning to walk. Now you're an adult and you're growing up and you're learning to ascend.
Yeah.
So play with it and keep me posted on how
Beautiful.
it's going, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Love you, Peter. Love you, everyone. Thank
All
you.
right, stay blessed. All righty. Okay, so now, Karen, yes, go ahead and unmute yourself and please ask your question.
Okay, it's the first time I'm in this community.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am channeling many different angelic realms and different planets, councils, and so on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but the last week, 2 weeks, when I meditate, they ask me to write my story, and they wake me up in the middle of the night, and I go up and I write. But there is it's coming up more and more resistance. And what my question is this really so important for my financial situation? Because my financial situation is very, very, very low. Very but it's like they are pushing me to come forth with me through this writing my story.
Yeah.
Could that be so? Really?
Yeah. So The fact that you're having resistance is really a big thing. All right. So,
Okay.
first of all, there's no right or wrong. You could choose to do whatever you want to do. There's times when I get woken up in the middle of the night and I say, I'm going back to sleep. Turn off the disco ball. I want to sleep now. All right. But I don't ever sit there and say, go away forever or stop talking to me. Okay. Because I want that connection and stuff like that. Now, what I have learned, and Spirit wants me to tell you this, is the writing is not about your finances, but the writing will help you with your finances, because when you do the writing, you're going to have access to your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is holding a set of beliefs around finances and many other things that are quite limiting to you. Most of those were placed for most people between ages 0 and 6 because of unresolved trauma or experiences we didn't complete. Sometimes they're not even terrible things. Sometimes they're really simple things. Like I ran to my mom for a hug and she was busy holding groceries and she didn't hug me. And I just felt terrible, like I wasn't loved. But your unconscious makes a big deal of that and then it runs for your entire life. So what they really want you to do is use the writing as a way to access what you're holding in your unconscious. And the more you do that, the more you're going to start to see, oh, this is an unconscious belief. Let me clear it. Tons of clearing techniques on my website in the community. You can just ask about that. We'll direct you and stuff like that to get to that. But right now, this is an awareness thing for you. Many people find that it's easier to get to their unconscious, especially if you're going to do it early in the morning when you're just first awake and half asleep. And it's easier to get into your unconscious and just write whatever comes out because you're not thinking about it. And when I work with individual people, I tell them that you don't really want a lot of story when you're doing your clearing. All right. Because the story keeps you from actually feeling the emotion. It's like a band-aid they put over it. But during contemplation, story is really helpful to see what's inside you, to see what you're holding. So then you can then take it to clearing. You just got to know that the writing is its own separate thing and it's to open the door for you. But when you walk
Okay.
through the door, you leave the writing behind and you go to the emotional imprint, the charge that's holding that unconscious belief in place. And that means you express it fully, either through tears or laughter or sadness or screaming and yelling or whatever it is that needs to get expressed that didn't get expressed when you were first imprinted by it. So that's what they're telling me, that the writing is not directly about the problems. The writing is to show you what your next steps are to take, because you'll be able to see what's your unconscious is holding. And among those next steps, you will see where the financial blockages were put in place.
Wow, thank you so much. That
Yeah.
was helpful.
Good. Keep at it. It's a beautiful thing, because if you write like that, you're going to soon get to automatic writing. And automatic writing is just like you're doing with channeling already. You can talk to spirit, but because it's coming out of your own hands, you'll believe it more. And it's more directed by your unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you so
Go ahead and there you go. Okay. Michelle, go ahead and please unmute yourself.
Okay. My question, I've been listening to your videos, watching them for I guess a month or two more. And the question that keeps arising in my mind is, in this time of change, especially for humanity, how does this time affect the other species on this planet? Are they being affected in much the same way we are? How do they play into this, or are they just our victims? If we manage to become more enlightened, then they benefit. If not, well,
Yeah, that last thing you said is kind of harsh, but more closer to the truth. They've been waiting for us. They've been screaming for a long, long time, you know? Well, you just stop being the horrible, inconsiderate folks you are. But given our state of consciousness, there's nothing else we could do. All right. Now, first, I want to talk a little bit about Gaia and my understanding of what constitutes the collective. All right. So each species has its own collective consciousness. This goes for humanity as well. Okay. And it's kind of like a deva or something. And you can talk to a whole species if you want to, right? Then you take the collectives of all the collectives and you put them together, and they're the planet. Okay. So what's going on is that, first of all, Gaia's already mostly made the move into 5D. She's just waiting for us to catch up because she loves us and doesn't want to leave any of her children behind, right? So she's just still keeping us in that place of 4D where you move back and forth so that we can make the transition and welcome ourselves across. Okay, so that's happening there. As you move up this ladder, and again, it's not an up and down kind of thing, but there's no good words in 3Ds to talk about how you change frequency. So as you change the dial and you move into the frequency of 4D and 5D, what happens is you're more connected, just like that last question. Oh, there's all these entities out there. Will we all be channeling? Yes, of course we will, which means we will be in animal communication, which means the collective that has been talking to us is going to start talking to us more clearly. And as a result of that, we're going to feel whatever they're feeling. And because we've been treating them like crap, then we're going to feel what we've been giving them. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of what's going on. That's why you're in that place of this connection. You're feeling it. And the way to do anything at all is clear, clear, clear. Anything fully expressed turns to bliss. So completely feel whatever you're picking up from the animal collectives. Feel their sadness. It helps carries their burden, just like they've been there to help carry you. A lot of people have great relationships with their familiars, their doggers or their cat or their turtle or their bird sits there on their shoulder and just connects with them and eases things. And we have that relationship. We're starting to see it more and more individually with the rise of pets all over the planet. But we're going to be doing this as collectives. Now, part of what's really fun, something I got to experience, and you will be experiencing it too, is when you get to the point in your consciousness and you really want to go further and you confront every single animal you've ever eaten. I remember being there with the whole field of cows and the whole fields of chickens, and they were just hating on me, but they weren't hating on me, but they, I was unconscious my whole life, and I was just part of a system. I mean, you guys know we pretty much torture our animals to get them to market and stuff like that. Now, there's a whole ethical component. I still eat meat, but I sit there and I know, because meat has consciousness, plants have consciousness. I'm killing consciousness when I eat it. All right. The point is, when I pray, what I do is I feel whatever the animal or the plant was feeling when it was harvested and in its lifetime, and allow that to fully express. So that's my prayer. It's like, and then it transmutes, and then I'm no longer putting that in my body when I eat it. Okay. So we're going to get to the point where we're going to see that the systems we designed are just cruel, which is, of course, a reflection of our own consciousness. How we treat animals is the same way we treat ourselves. And it's kind of funny. All the people say, you want to talk to ETs, get your animal communication in place first, right? Because if you can't talk to the species on your planet, what makes you think you can talk to a species outside your planet? All right. So this is all happening. This is all happening in a beautiful way. She's here now. She's nodding. Yeah, it's all beautiful. And yes, of course, it's painful because we've created a lot of pain. But it's going to clear because consciousness is going to be applied to it. And when the consciousness is applied to it, then we're naturally going to feel what we've caused. And as we feel what we caused, we will heal it. Any other questions about that?
I'm not sure. I'll come back later if there is. I'll thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Tamika, could you please unmute yourself? And 1 second here. And all right. Please fire away.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Peter, for hosting this. This is my first time here, but I do watch your videos, and I watch your activation one, receiving that one, the deep through your eyes. So I watched it all the time.
Cool.
But my
cool.
question is, I'm a healer. I have a child born with the fatal blood disease, sickle cell. So I learned how to heal people, reverse chronic illness through the herbs, minerals, and vitamins. And so I reversed stage 4 cancer, Lyme disease, liver disease, COVID, and all that. But now I'm now getting into the spiritual healing, which I knew nothing about. So I was able to stop my own blood clots by doing Jose Silva meditation, listen to the frequency music and breathing and just saying, I am so happy and grateful I'm not blood clotting. And so that's fine for myself. But now my mother is 86 and she has touches of dementia, plaque on the brain. Now I've given her tons of herbs and stem cell patches and liquid light, and she's doing great physically. But she is such a negative, bitter person. And, you know, rightfully so, the older generation, like she just say things like, just my, you know, Austin, my dog, you're going to make me fall coming down the steps. Don't make me fall coming down. I say, Mom, you can't say that. Well, she ended up falling. But we went to see a shaman and spiritual healing, and he had the feathers, communicating with the feathers, and it was like a straw, and he was going all over her body, sucking up, like he was sucking up inflammation, or I don't know what it was, maybe negative energy. But once he sucked it through the straw, he turned around and he hawked it up in a Kleenex and kept throwing it in the trash. And it was so miraculous. And I'm like, wow, this is spiritual healing right in front of my face. So the question is, when you do spiritual healing that way, dealing with my 86-year-old mother, knowing she has lots of bitterness in her trauma, emotional body, do we have to keep going back to the spiritual healing, you know, more than once, I'm sure, to get it all out? Just trying to figure out the spiritual healing side and how to get all that clear so she's able to think clearly again.
Yeah. So first of all, there's immense love for you coming right now because of the situation you're in. And there's immense love for moms. Okay. As well. Now I got 3 answers and they're 3 very different answers. So pick the one you like.
Okay.
The first answer is mom's got free will and she's sovereign and she's got whatever she's going on with her soul, and it may be expressing as dementia to you, but it might be what she is doing for herself, okay, by choice. Now that choice, that's the first answer. The second answer is she may have chosen through agreement with you that, hey, there's going to come a time where I'm going to give you all this because I know it will help trigger you into what's next. And I'm willing to take that karma on so that you can get what you can get. Now, what can you get out of it? You know, life is a mirror 24/7, right? That whatever you see is a reflection of what's in. So if you're seeing moms being all negative, that means there's a part of you that's holding negativity that you haven't fully released yet. Now, I'm not giving you any criticism or anything like that, okay? Because given our state of consciousness, there's nothing else we could do except for what we are doing. So, but what I am saying is that as you move into the spiritual healing realms, there's a tendency to go to the peaches and cream and the love and light and not pay attention to the darkness that's still festering. So you may want to peel back some of your happiness and look inside what's going on the deep unconscious levels, like that last person we were talking with who was doing writing to get to her unconscious level. You can just sit there if you're close enough to your spirit, just say, show me. You don't need to go through any big process, just show me. All right. So there's something there for you, or she wouldn't be in your field. Okay.
Right. Exactly. And you know, and I ask Spirit to show me, because, you know, she'll say things that's not right. She'll get angry and I see it, but I say, Spirit, show me, because I need to heal her, because I'm going to Africa in 2 weeks and I just can't leave my mother in such disarray and go off somewhere. That's why I had to postpone my trip. But I have come in contact with the med beds. There's a med bed that I found here in the United States. So I am finding ways, you know, to keep.
Good. You're getting a lot of stuff. You have shamans, you have understanding frequency, you have a med bed. Most people don't even know what one is, let alone know where they're at. Okay. That's still like half secret too. Okay. So you've got a lot of stuff happening. So you've got a lot coming to you, which is beautiful. Okay. All right. Now, And you're allowing that. And you just may have to accept that, again, answer number one, mom's doing mom stuff. Am I going to do mom stuff, or am I going to do my stuff? And that may mean blessing her and letting her do what she's doing. That's what it might mean. But you're going to have to answer that, because there's no right or wrong to any of this.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
let me get to my third answer.
Oh, okay.
So now you witnessed a shaman who had his process, and all the processes that people do are related to how they understand and interpret energy and the divine and stuff like that. So there's not like, oh, you can learn this or you can learn that. You can, but there's not any particular way. What I get from connecting to you and what Source is telling me is that your shaman was instructive of how another person stepped into the first person's field, your mom's field, and then did some release for them and let that go. Okay. And that was the thing, did release and let it go. Now, there's something kind of tricky about all this. If a person doesn't really ask for it, first answer, then you could do all the healing you want and it won't stick. That's what I remember the Ram. I said, oh, yeah, when I first started, I would just be healing everybody right and left. And now I don't hardly heal anybody, because if they don't change their consciousness, it's just wasted effort. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I have experienced that when I've gone through healings, and it was my wife who taught me this because she could do it. It's because we would go to India for a month at a time at Oneness University, and we'd be do processes, like sometimes the same process every day for 3 weeks, right? And so after you do it for a while, you get pretty clear. All right.
Yeah.
So then she just started experimenting and doing it for family members, her daughter who's doing whatever her daughter's doing, or her mom's doing whatever, and then Grams would show up even though she's passed, and then the lineage would show up. And she discovered that once she is clear, which is the second answer, what's going on inside of you, once she is clear, she can then surrogate and connect to the other person and do a healing. So, for example, if you go on my website and you look on the processes page, you're going to see heal relationships with your parents, heal relationships with your children. I've done those so many times because I've taught them in classes and stuff, that when I do them now, I immediately go into my lineage or my brothers and sisters, and I can do it for them. Now, does it stick? It's the same thing, right? They have their own free will choice and stuff like that. But I'm finding that I often move to a new timeline. And in that new timeline, then the physical expression that you were dealing with is no longer present, because you cleared that energy in yourself. So you no longer attract it to your field. So it looks externally like they had a healing, even though they may still be in other timelines where it sucks.
Yeah.
It's super crazy, but it's kind of how it works. So you got 3 answers, pick and choose whatever makes you happy.
Okay. Everything makes sense. I'm going to claim that she's going to get healed. She's going to write a book, and she's going to teach other elders how to be healthy.
Yeah. And that can be it. And the way that I've been getting very strongly, and I'm getting ready to write my second book, and this is going to be a big part of it, is the second prayer. You pray for what you want, you put a date on it. And then when that date arrives, you either put a check mark, got it, or you don't have it, and you pray the second prayer. Show me why the first prayer didn't manifest.
Yes.
So you may have an opportunity to either have your mom write the book or have you write the second prayer.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You stay blessed. Okay, Miriam, if you can unmute yourself. You did that already. And go ahead, please.
So I have a question, and then I have something incredible to share that just happened. It's so strange. And by the way, I've started automatic writing at the insistence of my spiritual advisor. So that could be the reason the thing happened.
Cool.
So, I have all this doubt about what has been happening. And, I keep looking for this external evidence. And I don't know if you can maybe speak to your experience on this, or if you have another way. And maybe I shouldn't be having any expectations, but it would be really nice. One of the things I don't do yet is have clairvoyance. So I have had clairvoyant moments where I've actually seen things, but it's not something I can hold. I know things, right? I can feel things, but the sight is not there. And so is there something I can do to trigger that? I definitely feel like once I felt like somebody was stamping my third eye, and I feel the pressure frequently actually lately, but is there something I can do to trigger that?
So God Spirit is just sending so much love for you right now.
Oh, thank you.
And I hate saying it because sometimes when they send a lot of love, they go, and you're
You're
not
going to tell me something I don't want to hear.
yeah, not always, but sometimes, and in this case. All right. So yes, you want clairvoyance, right?
Mhm.
You want that. And that's what's been propelling you. And you may or may not be ready to receive it
Mhm.
because of, again, the whole blockage thing, right? That's always what it is. And this is super important. Not all of us have chosen a DNA set that allows everything to come all at once. When we get into the super higher realms, then we'll have all that, but we may not. And right now you're getting little tastes. So you got your stamp, right? But you're getting other stuff. You're getting automatic writing, you're getting this and that, right? And so now the tendency is to go, oh, but I wanted this. Right. And so let me tell you just two personal stories, then I'll get back to you. Okay. First personal story was the time I got introduced to clear smelliance. And I don't know what the word is for that, but when you can smell stuff. Okay. And so we were doing a meditation and we moved it to the back bedroom because it was Halloween and we didn't want to deal with kids at the door and stuff like that. So we just turned the lights off and went to the back bedroom. And my wife has a whole cabinet full of essential oils. And we're doing this. And this lady was really hurting super bad on her back. And we were always praying, we were focusing on her having a healing. And I'm getting all these smells. And I'm like, because I'm next to the cabinet of essential oils. And so when we're done, I go, did anybody else smell all these essential oils? And nobody did. So I smelled them. I go, okay, I smelled this, I smelled that, I smelled the other thing. So my wife immediately took that as an interpretation to take the concoction that was I called forth and give it to her. And then it helped her back. And then the next day I talked to my friend who wasn't at the meeting, but has really good psychic skills. And I was talking to her and she goes, oh yeah, I could smell it too. I wasn't with you guys, but I could smell it. And then she lists the 3 ingredients that I had listed. Right. So what this teaches me is here I am focusing on praying for this woman to have healing. And I want to have healing abilities to give to her. But what I got was smell. Now, it still got you the same place, but it didn't look like what I wanted to get. So then, do you want to play the game of pouting? Yes, I do. Or do you want to play the game of, all right, I got that skill. Thank you. More, please. It's coming, right? And so that's the second story I want to tell you is I wanted to do remote viewing. And that was my New Year's resolution several years ago. I was going to do remote viewing. And so I went and found this free online course by the Farsight Institute. It was on YouTube. It was cool. And I was doing it and I was getting mixed results. Sometimes I would hit right on, sometimes it'd be. And then I was like listening to one of the instructors from Farsight, and he says, oh, yeah, I took this QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique thing. And my clarity opened up. My abilities just went. So I found somebody in Santa Fe as a practitioner and I went to go see her and I did this session. And in the middle of the session, all the stuff I'd done in my past that I didn't think was important came to me. The temple in my heart was there. And all of a sudden I'm in the temple in my heart. And all of a sudden I'm talking to Mira from the Pleiades. And Mira's sitting there telling me, hey, I'm part of the advanced crew to help humanity prepare for ET contact. So we're looking for people like you who are ready to embrace new skills. And if you want, I'll help you. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. So I'm having this whole conversation. Meanwhile, the practitioner had given up trying to keep me on whatever meditated path she was keeping me on. And when it's done, she's like, okay, so who are you talking to and where were you? Oh, the temple in my heart. And so I'd done the preparation work at a temple in my heart. I was open because of the QHHT, and now a mirror was in my life. And that's how I became a channeler. So I wanted to be a remote viewer. But now I got all this other stuff. And it turns out that if I do choose to go back to remote viewing, which occasionally I do, not that often, information comes clearly to me. So follow the skills and abilities that you have. All right. Okay. And it'll get you to where you want to go or not. But it'll be a super fun ride. That's what Spirit wants to tell you. Now, about that doubt stuff, it's like, I'm sorry, but I just got to give you this. Okay. And you're giving me it already. Yes. And so remember Jim Morrison? Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, just change the word to doubt. Hello, doubt, my old friend. Come to see me again. Right? Because that's what it does. It's a low frequency. We've lived with it the whole time. So the understanding is local mind and universal mind. Local mind is lower frequency. Universal mind is higher frequency. Local mind is negative, repetitive, and destructive. Universal mind is creative and auspicious and connective. Okay. And as we go through our ascension, we're going to move from local mind to more of a connected universal mind. However, local mind is going to freak out, right? The local mind is going to freak out because it's in control and it wants to keep you in control. Now, for those listening, and we've talked about this a little, Miriam, but we're going to go over it again because there's a lot of people listening. Mind is not yours. We think it's ours because it's been with us moving so fast our whole life telling us things, but no, we're passing through a mind field, a thought sphere. And in that thought sphere, you pick up things. And because it's been with you so long and it's trained you because you've consented to this, we all have, right? So that we have a thought, and then the amygdala, the chemical factory in the back of our brain, releases peptides, and we immediately have a feeling state produced by it. So we think it's ours because our body responds to it like that. But it's not. And this was taught to me by Sri Bhagavan. That's the dude over my shoulder there who used to run the Oneness Temple stuff, those processes we'd go through for a month. And so Bhagavan's got skills. I mean, like raise the dead kind of skills. I mean, he knows all his past lives and what he's done with them and all that other stuff. And he's done a lot to do in this life. Anyway, so he's sitting there and he's receiving a saint, a very high level person is coming to see him. And this person arrives and he says, how you doing? How was your trip? And the saint says to Bhagavan, I feel terrible. I've had murderous thoughts all afternoon. I just want to kill somebody. And Bhagavan says, where'd you eat lunch? And the guy says, oh, this crossroads with this big tree. And Bhagavan says, oh, yeah, a couple of years ago, there was a teenage boy who killed his girlfriend there. You were just in the thought sphere and picked that up, and that's with you all day. And you just didn't realize that it wasn't yours. And it troubled you because it was against your beliefs and philosophies, but you picked it up and didn't realize that that was what was going on. So doubt is external in the thought sphere. And we know this because everybody watching, and put it in the comments below if you're the first person ever who has never had the thought, oh, I screwed up, and it just repeats over and over and tells you how bad you screwed up and what you should have done. So if you have not had that thought, I want to know, because everybody I've ever asked says I've had that thought. How is it that everybody on the planet has the same thought? Because it's not ours. So you're going to become friends with your doubt. You're going to learn techniques of, oh, yeah, your automatic writing is going to start telling you things. This is what Spirit's telling me. You're going to start telling you things. Then you're going to see those things happening in your day, and you're going to get more and more confident, more and more belief about it. But that's not going to stop the doubt. And then after a while, it's not going to carry as much weight, and you're just going to notice it like a fly on the wall. You know, you can clean your house as much as you want. You can have fly paper and bug spray, and you still have flies come in sometime. Does any of that help, Miriam? I know I was on a rant.
No, it does. And it is what I sense that I need to just go with the flow because that's how I got here anyway. And the other thing, and I spoke with my spiritual counselor about it the other day, and I told her this. I said, what I really realized is that this entire time, everything has been within me anyway. It's
Ding,
just
ding, ding,
now
ding.
it's like more direct is how I sense. And maybe again, that human side of me that has been conditioned by the systems we live in keeps coming in and going, just triple check this, because you don't want to sound like a crazy person. I mean, I live among regular people who do not think like this, and it's a negative reinforcement. So I need you guys to tell me I'm not nuts.
Right, right. And that's what we're here for. And just
Yeah.
to do a little sales pitch, this is why I created the Becoming Awesome community, so you can surround yourself with people like this. So you know you're not on the crazy boat, right? You know, or the
Right.
other people haven't. And just today, all the links will be below, but just today, the questions have been of such a high caliber. There's been like no questions so far of the poor me, how do I fix this? There's been questions of, okay, this is what's happening with my skills and abilities. How do I get the most out of it? That's a whole big shift right there, that they have this collection of people that are starting from the platform of, oh yeah, stuff is happening. You've heard miracles from everybody so far. They have this ability, that ability. All right. And now how do I go further? Okay. And this is personally amusing to me because like, I don't know. I just channel this stuff. I don't really know how you go further. But anyway, this is what's happening planet-wide, and we've agreed to be the ones who carry the machete and cut the path in the jungle. So, Miriam, you're not with that group yet, but you're going to grow into a big bubble of heaven. You already have to a degree, and it's going to be more, and then that's going to bring people along, and when there's enough of these bubbles of heaven, the planet pops. Spirit wants me to tell you to get ready for this next thing because it's happening to me, Peter, a lot, and it's going to start happening to you. Because you're opening yourself and you're on the fast track. People are going to walk into your presence and then they're going to have emotional releases. Okay. They're not going to be able to hold the tightness and the stuff they're suppressing because your field is so expanded from your own clearing work and stuff like that. And people are going to start saying things like, oh, I just like being around you, like at work or whatever it is, or whatever. And then other people will start to feel like they can confide in you. And all of a sudden they'll just burst into tears and it'll flow. And that's just all going to happen automatically because you're vibrating at a frequency where they can't stay stuck. So get ready for that if it hasn't already happened.
I cannot believe you said that because that is also what my spiritual counselor told me just a couple days ago. She said people are just going to start showing up in your life and coming to you for help.
So for everybody watching this, Miriam, yay. This is where you're headed, okay? You do your work, you struggle whatever you struggle with, you enjoy your doubt, let it go like that to your head a lot. And then all of a sudden, you're a bubble of heaven and people start popping around you. That's where we're all headed. And you're a beautiful example of that. It's so, I love you. I love you.
No, I love you too. But so I got to share this crazy thing that happened.
Good.
So she's been pressing me to automatic write for years, and I tried and I couldn't do it. And then I talked to her the other day and she's like, you have to, you know, she yelled at me again. And I said, okay, I'll try it now that I know I can channel. So let me, and it worked. It's crazy and a whole nother story. But so I went to write questions down because you said have your questions ready. So I grabbed my pen and a piece of paper and I'm like, all right, you know, I definitely want to know how to, you know, advance my skills. I do not remember writing these two things. I'm just going to tell you, I am like, how did this appear on my paper? I do not consciously remember writing these two things. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. I don't know if you want to answer them. They have question marks behind them. I am racking my brain trying to remember, was I trying to finish something here? I don't know what this is. So I'll just tell you what I wrote.
Please do.
Not consciously. They were two simple questions. What's you and what's spirit? I don't remember writing that. I don't know what that means. Is that what is the essence of us? I can't even believe these are on my paper. These are not questions I came consciously to you with.
Yeah. So Spirit's already told me why you wrote that down. Okay. And the reason you wrote that down is because that's on the mind of people who will be watching the video. Some people who are sitting here now have that, but not to the degree of the number of people who will be watching the video. And when one of the people who watch it and you get to this part and it goes ding, 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 put it in the comments. Oh yeah, that was me. Okay. So you're opening to that field. So this is a sign that your field is open already. And why? Now, the second thing Spirit wants me to tell you is, before we say anything, would you like to answer that question?
Me?
Yes.
Well, okay, my head's buzzing, but it's lately does not, it doesn't stop a lot. We are all one. We all come from the same source. We are all a reflection of that source. And it is a reflection of that source experienced in different ways, which is why we have this diversity, not just diversity among humanity, but diversity among our plants and animals, and everything in our environment is source being expressed in unique and differentiated ways. And spirit inhabits these different ways to express source back to itself. So you are just a spark of source. That is your spirit. It is one spark of source inhabiting all these different things that manifest in our reality. Like I say, they're your tree or your pet or whatever, but we actually all are the same thing. It's just one spark of that source, so that source can experience itself. I don't know if I said that right, but that would be the way that I would answer that.
That is so beautiful too. And Spirit really wants you to just take a moment and enjoy who you are and what you said. Because you're moving from the realm of, oh, I'm the seeker, show me, to the realm of, oh, these are some of the skills I've mastered, let me share. You know that as soon as you asked the question, you stepped up to the plate to answer it when I invited you to, and you got the buzz in your head. So you got immediate confirmation. Okay. Now the game, of course, is translating it. But what you did is pretty much what I'm trying to do and get as many people on board to do. And that's why I do these things and answer these things. But you just did it. All right. So go. All right. And know that the door's open now. Do it as much as you like. Oh, this is funny. Somebody wrote in the comments, the sleeper has awakened. It's beautiful. So that's kind of what it is. And this is where we're all going, and you're going to carry that field, and more people are going to come. And right now, there's still just, this percentage of us. Spirit saying it's getting bigger and bigger. Right now, I have so much trouble with putting numbers when they squirt energy in my head to translate into a number. Okay, but I'm going to get this. Okay. They're saying that at least 13% of the population could hear your answer and understand it. And another probably 15 or 20% beyond that would be totally confused by it, but would resonate with it. So we're talking 30, 40% of the population is ready to actually start to receive in some way, shape, or form the idea that I'm a piece of God, you're a piece of God, we're all fractals, we're all one. There's no difference between me and spirit. And when I understand that, then I live it and I express it. And so it's no longer me on my knees praying to the higher power. It's me looking in the mirror, inviting this fractal of God that I see to express. Okay, and they're saying that this is huge, that we're at those percentages. That's huge. Now, it's still going to take a while for many of us who can have that awareness or sense it. We still give our power away to the power brokers through politics, through the economic systems that we permission and stuff like that. But that's going to change too, because that stuff can't hold together as the consciousness increases. So they're just saying bravo to you and everybody listening. They're wanting me to say this too, that you're listening. So that means you're part of this percentage of people, the 30, 40% that can get this in some way, shape, or form. Now go look in the mirror and choose how to live and express it. So thank you for that, Miriam. Thank you for sharing all this.
Thank you. You guys are great. Thank you.
All right. Stay blessed, sweetheart. Okay, I'm going to unpin you now, Miriam. And Christian, if you could unmute yourself and fire away.
Yes, so first and foremost, thank you everybody for the co-creation of this moment. And since one of the topics was automatic writing, the thing I was doing over the weekend was like drawing a circle with different letters and using a pendulum to decide or give spirit, where do you want this to go? So if anybody has doubt about automatic writing and the stuff I'm doing with my hand is not my own, maybe this is an approach which could be useful.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
The second question was, so one thing you are doing is a oneness field. And theoretically you should be doing or could be doing Oneness Field on your own, and inviting the other your other lives who are also aware, and exchange the energy with them.
Yeah. So your question is chicken or egg. All right.
Okay.
So your question is, does me focusing on it create the oneness field and allow me to then go into it and invite others? Or does the oneness field exist and then it's reached me in such a place that I become aware of it? All right, chicken or egg. And I don't got a good answer. And Spirit's like laughing at me for even trying to attempt this. They're saying, yeah, confuse them, Peter. Just say whatever you're going to say. It'll be confusing. And they're just laughing, okay? Because that's the conundrum, chicken or egg. The example I want to give you is I'm part of a group consciousness. We call it Elon, and not after the guy who does the Tesla cars, but after the French word excitement and style and that kind of stuff. So we call it Elon. And it was originally founded by my friends and I who were doing the Power of Eight meditations. And then we decided to do a thing called info looping, which is we share what happens afterwards to make it more connected. And then we found our group consciousness form. And this was quite a natural process. We would pray for somebody. And like in Power of Eight, they'll tell you if you pray for somebody's knees, that was the first time we did it. You know, there were 8 of us doing it. We prayed for this person's knees, and 4 other people had pain reduced. Actually, 3 had pain reduced, and I had a dream that night to say, stop eating nightshades. And then I did, and my pain went away. And then he did not have a pain reduced miracle. He had somebody walk up to him and tell him, you should try this, doctor. I've had good success with it. And then he did, work perfect, because he'd been putting that off. So just a little sidelight, 3 kinds of miracles. You pray for something, it automatically happens. You pray for something, nothing happens. But somebody tells you what to do, and suddenly that solves your problem. And the 3rd kind of miracles, you pray for something, nothing happens, but you don't care anymore. It doesn't bother you. All right. So out of the 8 people in that circle, 5 of us got miracles. Okay. So we noticed that immediately when we put our consciousness into this group focus, it was affecting everybody else. And Lynn McTaggart writes about that in her book, Power of Eight. But what we found was that as we continued doing it in our method and growing it stronger, we couldn't hold the focus on one person anymore. So when it was time for somebody to say, it's my week to have the prayer focus on me, we couldn't focus on them. We'd have to have everybody in the group get it. And that was literally, we just could not hold the singular focus. Then that went on for a period of time, and then got to the point where we now had to pray for everybody we met or our community or the planet, because we couldn't hold that small focus. So then we realized we were in the place of a group consciousness. So we named it. And then we did a little ritual where we said, okay, you show up to the meeting 3 times in a row, and then you say you're in, and you're in, because it's all by choice, right? So that's how we started. I since moved this to the Patreon community, which is giving you access to group consciousness. And so it's getting a bigger and bigger field. We're just a few weeks away from starting meditations that are on 1 evening a week in the US time zone, 1 evening a week in the European time zone, and 1 evening a week in the Australian time zone. So there's going to be a place for everybody to come in at least once, maybe twice. All right. And just play in group consciousness, right? Just really super cool. Now, part of the group consciousness is that what anybody gets, everybody gets. Also, it's kind of the formation of a collective. Okay. So when I sit there and you look at channeled entities like Abraham and that Esther Hicks channels, or this collective or that collective, and you ask them, how did you form? They'll say this was the process. So humanity's at that place where we're forming our own group consciousness, and whether Elon becomes the planetary group consciousness or not doesn't really matter. The fact is that we have it, it exists. Now, I'm telling you that whole story because 1, it's cool, and I got to brag about the community to get people to join it. But 2, we then get to the point where Elon is its own separate entity, even though it's us. It's its own separate entity. We can talk to it, we can pray with it, and to have it boost up our prayers, because when it is praying with us, then everybody in the collective is praying with us. So it's really strong. So we're in this interesting place. And then the question arises, did we create Elon, or did Elon always exist and just invited us in? And so we have fun when we want to play the mental game, when we want to do mental masturbation. We'll play that and we'll discuss that because there's no answer to it. So that was a very long-winded, roundabout way of answering your question. Chicken or egg?
Oh, well. Sometimes I think you don't need to understand everything. You can just accept the things as they are.
Yeah, yeah. I think Esther Hicks said that, or Esther said that when she was channeling Abraham. She said, you don't need to know how a car works to drive the car.
Yes.
Get in it, go for a ride, have some fun.
Okay. So thank you, Peter.
All right. Stay blessed, brother. All right. So I'm not seeing any hands up. This will be a shorter one unless somebody wants to ask a question right now. Otherwise, we will move into the transmission, but this will be your last chance for 30 seconds or so for anybody who wants to do a follow-up or ask another question or something like that, because I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Like I said earlier, this has been more one of the higher frequency ones. Mimi, yes, Mimi, you're go ahead and unmute yourself if you want to go ahead and turn your camera on so we can see your smiling face. That would be handy. Otherwise, everyone's going to look at this beautiful blank screen. There we go, Mimi. How you doing today?
Amazing. Totally excited.
Beautiful.
So I want to share, it's not a question, but I think it's a little bit relevant to what everyone is feeling.
Go for it, please.
So the last time we meditated, we spoke about the animal kingdom and how we can connect with them better. Oh my gosh, it's been like 100 times fold connection for me. For example, I went to get my hair done again, and the lady, I've seen her for 7 years, and she has a cat. That cat has never approached me. That cat is always so finicky and Miss Queen over there all by herself. And she came into the area where she was, because it's in her home that she does it. And at first I didn't think about it till the cat came and she was sniffing on me. And I thought, oh, wait a minute, something is happening. And I tell you that I heard the cat speak to me.
Wow. Okay, Mimi, I'm sorry I muted you. Unmute yourself. I'm sorry, Mimi. I was getting some background noise I was trying to get rid of.
It's fine. You got it.
Oh, go ahead.
And so I heard the cat say very clearly, so she likes when you come. She gets excited when you come. The cat was talking about my friend that does my hair. Now, that's not the only time. Then recently, like 2 days ago, I went to another friend's house and she has a puppy, and that puppy has never come around me. And it actually, when I got there, the puppy had run away. As we all gathered inside and he was so happy and everybody forgot about the doggy ran away into the neighborhood. And everybody was upset. And I said to myself, you know what? The dog is going to come back. I am going to connect telepathically with that dog and tell him to come back. I tell you, that dog came back all by itself. They were so amazed. And after that, that dog will not leave my side. And that dog never pays attention to me.
Wow,
So
that is so cool. That is beautiful.
I'm
Thanks, Mimi.
excited. And if it worked for me, it works for everybody else.
Yeah. So I just want to tell everybody who's watching this video what's going on. So we formed the Elon circle, like I talked about when I was speaking with Christian. And then my wife and I realized that one of the biggest problems out there is that you're alone in this and there's other people. What do you do? So we formed the Becoming Awesome community to welcome people in, so you have a landing spot. And like I said, there's meditations once a week, and soon there's going to be 3 times a week in different time zones for people to join in with this. And last week we did the prayer that we all were masters of animal communication. And the miracle you're sharing is just not the only one, Mimi. Other people have shared miracles that stuff took off for them. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And so this is what we do. We get together and we affirm what it is, and then we use the power of a group, because group prayer is always stronger, to bring it into ourselves. And just a little teaser this week coming up, Justin, I think he's on the call. Justin said he put in a request that we be able to download the ability to channel spirit through our creative endeavors, through music and
Wow.
artwork, that whatever we produce and writing and whatever it is that you do creatively, that it's infused with spirit. And I'm all for that because I want all the videos I produce to be just having that transmission going through and stuff like that. So I'm excited. I know I've got a friend we play music for. When we do the meditation later on, the very first song I'm going to play is from my friend Bob Yonker, and he just channeled it, and he just gets out of the way and music comes out and an energetic uplift is whoa. And so why not everybody have that ability? So
Yeah.
that's a little plug. That's where we're going. This is how it works. We're all bootstrapping each other up. So thanks for sharing that. Gave me another chance to self-promote. Okay.
I'm more for it. I'll help
Yeah.
you anytime.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Mimi. Great. Okay. So Michelle, I see you got your hand up, but we're going to go to Melissa first, and then we're going to come back to you. So you're going to be right after Melissa, but I'm just being drawn to do that. So Melissa, can you unmute yourself, please? And go
Hi,
ahead. Hey, so nice to meet you. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm actually um curious if I can get some clarity on something that happened in my dream last night.
Oh, how fun. Let's hear.
New, definitely new. So, um I don't remember all the details, it doesn't matter, but what happened was I had this sensation as though I was leaving my body, and I did. And then when I did, I realized, oh, I left it. And then I got a little scared, and then I decided to do it again and do the same thing. And then I went back. It was interesting because it was this feeling like separating into darkness. But it was not like, it wasn't like scary or painful or anything. It was just kind of this whoosh. And I've definitely felt emotions in my dreams before, like fear or anger or things, but I've never felt like my body in this way, like the density of it, and actually the just kind of dissolving away from it. And like I can still feel that feeling. It was
So
intense.
cool. So cool. So first of all, Spirit is just giving you a standing ovation. Right. They're just sitting there clapping, and they go that you're not really asking a question. You're asking for affirmation, and they want to give it to you because you had the experience and you're at that point of, do I doubt it or do I own it? And you're going to own it. There's no doubt you're going to own it, but it's new to you, right? It's like, what? And the first time you do it, I know, like first time I was outside my body, I was like, what? So, so I just want to tell a funny story. Okay. Because a lot of people contact me to do coaching sessions because they ask about new experiences. And this one guy said, yeah, so I've been having all these abilities. Like I can walk into the store and know what everybody's thinking and feeling. And, I get all these downloads of information. And then one day I was lying down and I just stepped out of my body and I moved through the second floor wall, and I was just standing above, floating in the air, looking around stuff, and I was all aware of it. He said I was okay with that until all the light beings that looked like wolves showed up, and then that freaked me out. And I snapped back into my body. He goes, what's going on? And I'm like, yeah, welcome to 3D or welcome to 5D. Who knows what abilities are going to unfold. Now, you're just at that point where you're leaving your body, which is super cool because you're aware of it. And there's nothing really to fear, because the big thing to know is nothing, absolutely nothing can come into your field without you permissioning it. You are sovereign. So if you have any worries, those of you listening, go and look in the mirror. I give myself a diploma. I print it out. I am sovereign. Nothing comes into my field without my permission. And I slap it up there. That's my diploma. And I announce it to the universe. And that's how it is. And so only beings in love and light can come to me because that's all I permission. All right. So you don't have to worry about that stuff. All right. And you're already not fear-based. Spirit's telling me you're not fear-based, but they want me to give that information for other people listening. Okay. So now you're at that place where you're being able to look and go, wow, there's cool stuff happening. All right. What's this like? And so that's what it is. Now, you can do several things with this. One is you just play. All right. One is like, I enjoy flying because it's cool. So when I'm in that state, I just fly. If I know that I'm in a dream, I was taught, I remember like I read the Carlos Castaneda books when I was a kid. Look for your hands in your dream. And when you see your hands, then you know that it's a lucid dream and you can do what you want. So I would just always fly. Okay. All right. Because it was fun. I liked it. All right. So you can do that. Right. So one is you just play and have fun. The other one is you can then start to remote view. You can take your consciousness to any time or place you think of. And you won't just take your awareness, you're taking your body there, which means you can, if you want to, and you practice this stuff, you can bilocate, which you can have your body here and have your body there, which is super high level stuff. And I've never met anybody in the physical plane who has claimed that ability, but I know it's possible, and spirit's confirming, yes, this is one of the things out there. So they're like, welcome. You've had another initiation. That's what it is, another initiation. So you go get that little thing that they put on at the Girl Scouts where you put all your badges on it, and you put the lucid out of my body dream, and you put that badge on because that's
So
where
that's
you're at now.
It's just sort of like the first step of like astral travel or lucid dreaming or channeling or something like that.
Yeah. So it's all of that. Don't lock yourself into where you're going to go with it. Play with it, and it'll unfold for you more, is what Spirit's telling me to tell you. But yes, you can astral travel if that's what you like. You can lucid dream if that's what you like. They're reminding me of bilocation is another option for you, or whatever, you know. Channeling, not really channeling, but it's in the same energetic that you can communicate with beings. So, but you don't have to leave your body. Like, otherwise, I wouldn't be here telling you all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's the same kind of energetic.
Yeah. That starts with play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play. Have fun with it. Super have fun with it. You're in a very good state, and they want to congratulate you and everybody else to hear this. You had an experience, and you're like, ooh, let's do it again. Let's do it again, right? It's like a kid at the roller coaster park. Yeah. Okay. Rather than what happened, right? And so, and that's not like a conscious thing. That's a programming thing that's from our unconscious, from our childhood and our past lives, right? And you're just in that blessed state where you're ready to do this. And those of you who have unconsciously chosen the fear game, just be aware that there's something else out there that you could choose if you wanted to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Peter.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. All right. And Michelle was up a second ago, but I don't see her on the call anymore. So, Patrick, it is your turn if you would like to unmute yourself. And good to see you, brother.
Yeah, you bet. You too. Actually, I think Michelle's still here, but we can come back to her. What I'm curious about is recently I've been listening to other people who are channeling, and there seems to be a common theme where they're mentioning some huge event that is going to take place where it might involve a lot of souls leaving very quickly. And I'm just wondering if you're picking up on anything in that regard.
Yeah. So this is a question that I need to dance around, because I do not want to play or empower the fear game. Okay. So you're going to get the answer you're going to get, because I get to choose what it is I say through my mouth, no matter what spirit is channeling for me. Okay. So as I understand it, the event is already in progress. Okay. Because from a spirit point of view, they told me in the past, and I get to love this one, soon is a 4-letter word. So when they're looking through all time and space, they go an event. And, in our 3D reality, that's a huge time frame. And we look at it as, in 3D, a date, a minute, a second on the calendar. So the event's already in progress. The event has been, and mostly still is for a few more years, this area of space that we're passing through. You know how the galaxy wobbles? and it's on a 26,000 year cycle. And when it hits a certain point, we move through a different area of space, and we're more connected to the central sun, and so everything gets lighter. The Hindu folks talk about it in the different yugas. We're moving out of the Kali Yuga, and now we're moving into the Satya Yuga, the golden age. Okay. And so I think it was called the harmonic convergence. And I think the central point of that was 2012, but I think it goes back all the way to 78 or something like that. And it's going to go forward an equal number of years. So this is the event. Now, as far as people leaving, they're leaving in droves. All right. We had a whole medical crisis not too long ago, which certain authorities helped usher in, telling us how to deal with that medical crisis and what happened during that crisis, right? A lot of folks left the planet. A lot of other people are having all kinds of different experiences where it's just difficult and hard. I don't want to blow anybody's cover, but I just was working with somebody this past week who went from really no awareness of things to all at once, and their nervous system was wired in such a way that it felt like, I'm on electric fire, what's happening to me? Ah, okay. And so they had to have that experience in their own way. Now, this person had enough consciousness and enough connection and wherewithal to know, oh, this is just what this transition looks like for me. For some people, when reality breaks like that, they like check right out. Okay, I'm not going to put up with this because it's hard and difficult. And so they're not ready yet. So a lot of people came to the planet to just simply observe what it looks like when a planet awakens, so that when it comes their time around in whatever cycle they want to be on, they'll have that experience. Okay. Lots of people are already checking out in a very big way. And this is going to keep happening. If you look at the insurance statistics, if you want to follow disaster stuff, and you look at the insurance payouts for death claims, they're up 14,000%, or excuse me, 1,400%. Okay, that's a 14-fold increase in people cashing in on their death insurance, or life insurance, they call it, but I don't know what that really means. All right, so you get what I'm saying? It's already happening. A lot of people already are leaving the planet, and that's not something to focus on this or that, because a lot of the people who do it are doing it from a 3D mind, the ones focusing on it. I got to know this, I'll be protected and stuff. Okay. And that just keeps you in 3D. A lot of other people are doing it from the fear point of view. I got to be ready for all this. And I used to do that. I used to be a prepper and all that stuff, because you have to fully clear what's inside you before you're ready to allow. So for them, that's just them facing their fears, and they think it's external. This event's going to happen, I got to get ready. But really, it's just the mirror showing them, hey, look inside, get rid of the fear in you, and then you'll just there. For people like you and me, and for most of us, we got 1 foot in 3D, 1 foot in 5D, and we say, oh, that foot in 5D feels really good. Let me get more of that, please. And you turn your focus there, you pay attention to that, and then that becomes your life with ease and grace. Okay. So I know I'm dancing around this, but that's all I really want to give you, because I don't want to do any fear porn, because that just keeps people focusing on that. And I know it's a 3D thing, a habit that feeds us. And, you know, some channels are into that, carrying those messages and stuff, and God bless them. I'm not, because I know I am that. That's the fundamental mantra. What you focus on is what you create, what you become. And guess what? I am an ascended planet. Does that help any, Patrick?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right. I don't see any more hands up, so I think we're going to go into the transmission. All right. So this is going to be an awakening transmission. It's not from me, it's from source. My job is to get out of the way, and I've practiced that and been blessed with that ability, so I can do that. What it's going to look like is we're going to get into a oneness field. And that will mean that everybody on this call and everybody watching this video is going to see a column of golden light from the central sun come down through your forehead, through the top of your head. Feel that tingling. And it's going to go all the way into your heart. And when it hits your heart, it's going to light up, go. Then you're going to exhale it to everybody on the call and everybody watching the video and everybody in the spirit realm who is supporting us. And then you exhale it to them and breathe it back in to your heart. So it starts from the central sun, you get source connection, go to heart, to everybody, back into your heart, to everybody, back into your heart. And you just keep doing that. That puts us in a oneness field. That's going to get you more able to allow source to come to you when the transmission happens. It also means that because we're in oneness, whatever anybody gets in this call or watching this video, everybody gets. So that's the beauty and power of getting to oneness field. So we're going to do that. Then since Steve earlier asked that question about that chant, we're going to use that chant. Soham, oh no, Hamsa Soham Ekam. We'll just do that 7 times. Hamsa Soham Ekam. After we get into oneness, we'll play one song for my friend Bob Yonker, the guy said who can channel music and carry energy spirit with it. Then we'll do that chant. Then I am going to play another song. It's the Mula Mantra from the monks at Oneness University. And during that time, I'm going to ask you to look into my eyes. Okay? And that's all you do. I will get out of the way and you will let whatever connection you have from source come to you as you are looking into my eyes. Basically, I'm just holding the channel open and you're going to get what you get from source. That will give you the awakening blessing and that'll start to have a neurobiological shift on your brain. After the awakening transmission, when the Mula Mantra is over, I'm going to switch to another song called the Liberation Sutra, also by the monks at Oneness University. During that time, sit back in your chair with your eyes closed or lay down if you can with your eyes closed and totally let this energy come to you and fill you. And when it's all done, that will be it. I'm not going to say a lot after that because I don't want to take you out of that night space. So this is a YouTube thing and I am doing this to grow the YouTube channel. So like and subscribe, put your comments in, like and subscribe. But that's going to be the whole thing. When we're done, we're just going to end it out. And I'm just going to say blessings, goodbye, and then let you stay in that space for as long as you like. So those are the instructions. That's how we're going to do it. I'm going to get into screen share now so that you guys can hear this music coming through. And we're going to do a calling in. We're going to invite all of your sacred higher selves to be here. So do that now. You do the calling in, sacred higher self, soul, whatever you call it, ask it to be here. It's always with you. It just likes to be acknowledged. That's good. I can start to sense the energy raise when you do that. Now, teams, let's get the team. Go team. Super Bowl's played today. I don't know when this is going to air, but the Super Bowl will be played this evening. So let's root for your team. And that team is not your sports team. That is your guides and angels who's been with you, supporting you. Welcome in your guides and angels to be here now. Oh, beautiful. Now, Gaia, she came up in our discussion earlier. Let's ask her to be here. Thank her and let her welcome her. Let her support you. You send your love to her. Let's bring in your ancestors, your whole lineage. Ask them to be with you now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fantastic. Now, source itself. Thank you for being with us. Now, our ET brothers and sisters, all our extra friends and our extra dimensional friends. Yes, the inner earth folks, dragons, fairies, all of it. And now we put out an open call to all beings of high frequency in service to love and light. Any entity that is aligned with the ascension of this planet and wishes to help with the awakening of everybody in this call and viewing this video, we ask you to be here now. And now, if you care to, please repeat after me. I am my I am presence. And I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. Now, for this song, you're just going to breathe in light from the golden central sun into your heart. Breathe it out to everybody on the call, watching the video, and the whole spirit team that's with us. Breathe it out to them, then breathe it back in and out and in and out. And do that for the duration of this song. Sa so hum ekam. 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 Now just look into my eyes and let your divine flow directly to you. Oh. Now close your eyes and either lie down and let your chair support you. Just totally know the process will continue. Let your divine work on you. Allow and receive.
तस्य विमुक्तिः एतस्मात् इन्द्रियाणां विमुक्तिः
Just stay in your quiet place as long as you like. Just enjoy what you're receiving. Thank you all for being with me watching this video. It's my honor, really. Such an honor to be able to be here with you in this way. Thank you. If you care to like or subscribe, that would help. And consider joining the Becoming Awesome community. Just drop me a line. Let's stay in touch. Enjoy your awakening. There's so many of us doing this. And it's happening to you. Stay blessed. Bye.